What's up, my party people? I've always wanted to say that. Welcome back. We are on episode 2, part 1, where I'm going to demonstrate how I did a reverse balayage on my girl here. This is the finished product. So stay tuned so that you guys can watch how I got this. But before we get into that, please hit that notification bell so that you are in the loop with all of my future content. Also, with any questions you guys may have, put them below so that I can answer them. And make sure you hit the like button. All right, let's get into it. All right, guys, like I said before, we're doing a reverse balayage on my girl here. This is most ideal for those clients who have had years of highlights. They're all solid blonde. They want maybe some dimension or depth added back into their hair, or maybe they just don't want the maintenance of having a super blonde look. This is gonna be perfect for them. It's even ideal for those clients who are so blonde and wanna keep some blonde in their hair, but they wanna like tone it down a little bit and so it's not so much, right? Anyways, technique is gonna be super easy. There are a few steps along the way, but as long as you follow along, you're gonna be golden. Sectioning pattern right here, we're gonna start in the back, clip up the hair in the back here. I've got this V section right here, which is kind of where we're gonna be getting started with the lowlights. And then in the front, we have just the 2 side sections. So really, we only have 3 clips. Super simple for the first part of this. So grab your pen and paper and let's get started. For this low light, I will be using 6N from Shades of Q Redken to equal parts processing solution. This will be the perfect contrast for this blonde that we are creating. Starting in the back, we will be taking V section at the nape of her neck. We will be taking a chunky weave horizontally across that V section. We will do this again in the second section. For our third section, we will be taking another V section. But because this V is getting wide, I will be applying this section in 2 foils to help myself have a little bit more control and also not to risk my low light foil slipping. Again, we will be taking another V section and applying 2 foils. Next section is going to be a horizontal section. This helps break up that V pattern and helps not make the lowlights look too blocky. Then a V section, and at this point, rotating between a V section and a horizontal section. Also switching between chunky weave lowlights and sliced lowlights. We will end with 2 horizontal sections on the very top. The side section is very simple. We are leaving out an inch-thick section of hair along the front of her hairline. We will section out 2 inches of her hair above her ear. In this section, we created a slight angle with the highest point going towards her face. We will take a slice for her lowlight on this section. Next section won't be quite as thick. It will only be about an inch thick. Keeping that angle as we work up the sides. The second, third, and fourth side sections will be chunky weave lowlights. Depending on how dense the client's hair is, will determine how many sliced lowlights we will use. For the base color, I am using Tresses 6.0 to equal parts Redken 10 volume. Try and leave the very front money piece out. We want to drop this base color down about 2 to 3 inches to create a halo effect. Before we move on to bleaching her ends, we will use a comb to break that line of demarcation throughout the base of her head. Okay guys, before we get into the lightening process, I'm gonna go over my favorite things that I use to achieve it. So here we are with our Air Libre. I use 1 scoop of this to 1 scoop of the Blanc Blonde, as you see here. And I like to use those two with 1 scoop of 8 times powder. I use 20 volume Redken developer right here. I like to use 20 volume developer when I'm air processing because really it acts as a 10 volume. So, just remember that when you're air processing, bump up your developer a little bit because you are going to have a little bit of a slower lift. I really like to mix my consistency, as you see here, nice thick Greek yogurt consistency. As I've said before, this is the consistency that I love no matter what technique I'm using, but for this one specifically, we are air processing. As far as the air processing technique, we will be applying the bleach on her side sections first. Start the bleach application on her mid shaft, saturating thoroughly on her ends, and then feathering up to her base color. Do not overlap that bleach with the base color. That will create weird, unwanted warmth. We will grab that money piece section we left out earlier and bleach that entirely, meeting it with the side section. Continue this process throughout the entirety of the hair to brighten up those pre-existing blonde ends. Let this process for about 20 to 30 minutes or until your blonde is at a level 9. All right, you guys, that's it for our look on our reverse balayage. Don't forget, part 2 is already up, so go check it out. If you haven't already, like this video, subscribe to my channel so you guys don't miss out on any of the future content. And also, if you guys have any questions at all, comment them below because I do lives every Wednesday evening to answer all those questions you guys have. All right, I'll see you guys next time.